Hey, so this is my personal story. Part one, I guess. Uh, so I was born on a small farm. Um, Weird to say that because I didn't live a farm up. I didn't do a farm upbringing. It was just until like age 1.5 or 2. Um, I it's weird how I can remember like little visage, is that a word, visage, like a partial moment, like an image kind of. I remember a bunch of feral cats. I remember like firewood. It was dusty around there and kind of filthy if I recall. um I don't know how my dad got that land. There was this old guy who was like past retirement age, and I don't know how this happened, but he ended up staying in like a trailer. I think it was like a semi truck trailer. He like moved into it off his farmland, and my dad took it over. I think there were horses. My dad had a motorcycle. I can remember from a picture we took. I think he had like campfires. I don't remember anything about the inside of the house, which is weird. I remember like the outside. Like maybe I was outside most of the time, which I can't remember even sleeping a night inside that house. Very weird. But if I can recall, my mom and my dad argued. I don't think I remember a time where we were all hugging and things were calm. Maybe like during the day in the sunlight, things were like kind of peaceful. There's hardly anything I can remember about being up to 2 years old. And then after that, around that time, my mom broke up with my dad, and I got sent, I don't know how, I think that's when my mom went to a mental inpatient facility. I don't know if she checked in voluntarily. I think it was involuntarily. I don't know if my dad might have said some stuff, or my mom felt suicidal, or my mom cut her wrists and she was trying to kill herself. I got sent to a foster home that the most vivid thing I remember is like a smiley face shed that she used to live by. I don't know how I remember that. I stayed with her for like less than a year or so, a year or two. Wow, I stayed with her for like 2 years. I don't remember hardly anything except that I think she had like a fence, like a little playground area. I remember her feeding me like Cheerios and like SpaghettiOs, like Chef Boyardee type stuff, and like a high chair. I really don't remember hardly anything about that. I think she had a bunch of kids in her backyard, and I think I was like left alone, and I just kind of roamed around her backyard and her play area with like a bunch of kids. I think a bunch of the kids, I think I remember nap time, and like I would see these kids, they would come just while their parents were out at work. It's so hard to remember, but I think I like played with those kids kinda, like interacted with them somehow or another. Maybe I'm remembering preschool. I don't think I'm remembering preschool. I think I'm remembering her place. I don't remember anything about sleeping or anything else. It's so odd. Now I'm trying to remember what happened after that. And when did it happen? Because I know I skip ahead to age like 4 or age 5. And I was living at my mom had an upstairs. Jeez. First, I was like 5 or 6. First, she had a mini townhouse with 2 stories. And it was real skinny, and the stairs went like around a curve, hugged the walls. And I remember they were really thin, like, you know, when stairs kind of curve around a corner. Me and my brother would race up those stairs. And I remember like sitting in the kitchen and it was being hot. I remember fans. It's so weird because I think there's like a gap between when I was in foster care and when I went back to my mom in her townhouse. But then I remember her townhouse, I was a pretty active kid, so like I was kind of aged. Like, I remember playing Pogs with my brother. My brother had cards, like football cards, and I don't know if Pokemon was out yet, but he had sports cards. We played Pogs. I think he had just gotten like a Super Nintendo, and he was I think we may have shared it, but it was mostly his. He played most of the time and made me watch. He played like Star Wars, and well, I think we had a back door, we had a screen door, a patio door that led to the playground area. And I remember playing tic-tac-toe. There was like a playground tic-tac-toe, like, you know, block thingies on a metal wheelie things. I remember playing tag on it, like lava. There were monkey bars. I'd swing the monkey bars. The monkey bars had big holes in them, and I'd crawl through the monkey bars in the holes. I'd really play like a monkey, basically. There was a circular slide. I remember getting shocked on it, like the what do you call that when you get zapped? Like when you do a balloon, static shock. I think I remember I finally got a bike. That's when I was learning to ride bike. And we'd try to ride really fast, and there were rocks in the playground. So we'd try to get across the whole rocks, like as if you would take a jet ski. Or like try to take your four-wheeler across. Or like your snowmobile across the water. It's kind of like that, except with the rocks. We'd build little jumps. We'd go around. There's a trail next to it. To those apartments. There was a field. We'd play football. That's when I first got into football. Football was kind of a big part of my life for a few years. I wasn't on any teams or anything. It was like neighborhood football, and like I got glory kind of out of that because I was so athletic. Like, we didn't get food a lot. My mom didn't even work. I've been dealing with food stamps, I think, my entire life. She's been on it my entire life, up until, I was 18 and stuff. But I don't really remember the food situation there. I think we had a lot of pop and ices. I think because those cooled us down or whatever. And I don't even think I remember sleeping. It's so weird how I don't remember bedtime, huh? I don't even know if me and my brother had different rooms. I think I remember he had a beanbag. Those were really popular. And, man, I think I was, aggressive with it. I may have even broke it, and I think he used to beat me up. I think my brother beat me up a bunch. I think I remember it was pretty dusty in there because their carpets were shag carpets. So I got I was developing asthmatic symptoms slowly. I do remember in my bedroom, yeah, that was the bedroom I would stare out of my window. I remember my window being really dusty with the screen being dusty. And I would stare into other people's windows across the playground area. The buildings would kind of they would kind of all face towards the playground, around the playground, so you could see across into other people's windows. And I would be fascinated by spying on people. It was weird. And there was this 20-year-old girl. I think that was the first time I saw boobs. I would intensely watch her window for hours. I didn't have much to do during those days, especially in the summer, I think. Sometimes I would have intense boredom. The first time I kissed a girl was 5 or 6 years old. I think I even made out, and my brother and her brother actually had us do it, which was weird. You can comment below if you've had any kind of weird experience like that. How does that work? How would my brother and her brother, they were good friends, and I think they were just trying to boss us around and do stuff, but to have us kiss, I can't imagine how that's like that. But I remember these girls, I would go over to their house because they were friends, and his sister would be shy but bossy, and she would kind of go around the house, and her brother was kind of protective while I was there of her to me. It was a weird relationship, and he was kind of playing cool friend, so he would him and my brother would play jokes on me and make fun of me and do stuff. And I think she would hang out in her room most of the time, but she was weird. She was she'd play hide and seek with me, I think. Kind of flirty, but we were only 5 or 6. It was weird. I think she had this gum in her mouth. She'd smack her gum, and it reminded me of a prissy girl, because their mom worked and stuff, so they had more money. They were upscale townhouse kind of people. So it was a different dynamic than our household, which was real poor, and we waited for the food every month. And me and my brother kind of fought over snacks and stuff. I don't know. But she would like Angelica. I think it reminds me of Rugrats. They would watch Rugrats, and that was a ritzy. To me, that was ritzy because you needed cable to do that, and we only had basic cable. I think there was even times where it was hard to even get basic cable, like the whole antenna thing and everything back then. Like, you had to, like, I think we spent a lot of time, like, getting our channels to try to come in. And he had games. I think my brother would kind of, like, manipulate him to get games out of him and play games. They would trade cards and play Pogs and stuff. I kind of hung out with them, which was weird. My brother had a few other friends too. My brother would, like, go over to friends' houses and leave me alone. I would hang out by myself. I think I got kind of lonely when he did that. And then that his sister would have another friend over, and her mom owned the entire apartment complexes, the townhouse complexes. She was the manager. And stay tuned. I'll leave you at a cliffhanger, but I want to make sure this uploads. Bye.